Welcome to Adventure for Beginners Stars Without Number Edition. If you don't know who we are, we play a 3.5 D&D game usually on Mondays, but we're just getting together to play some Stars Without Numbers. Totally different system, much more sci-fi, a little bit more fun. No, not more fun, but different kind of fun, I guess. And our very own Jimmy/Durian will be space mastering us, and the rest of us
Space
will be
mastering.
playing. So Travis, I know Travis is excited because he gets to play.
Oh yeah.
Just plot our demise the whole time.
Asteroids fall, Travis.
But yeah, so I think this will be a possibly 2 or 3-parter at least, and maybe some more in the future. So
Yeah, we'll see.
So yeah,
We'll see how we take to it.
Jimmy, we're doing
Okay.
a little bit of character creation right now, and we have some characters made. But Jimmy, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so I've got characters for Kevin and Travis ready, and we'll just introduce them when we meet them in game. We've just started to finish out fleshing out Maddie Kingston. That's you, Allison. You're a warrior.
I am.
I'm adding a few things. We just decided that you are from the homeworld of Polypheme, which is in the Azmat system, which I'm pretty sure, Kevin, you can put up on stream a map of the whatever it's called, the sector map to view at various points that we're referencing.
Yeah,
it.
I can bring up parts of it at least.
Okay, so real quick before we get back into the religion stuff, because I like that, but let's talk briefly about skills. So there's 2 sets of skills you take in the beginning of when you create a character. You take a background package, which is supposed to represent what you grew up knowing, something that you learned from childhood or youth, basically. And you took culture, world, leadership, persuade, and religion, which is under the priest tag.
Yes, correct.
Culture world is, by definition, because you're from Polypheme, it's basically culture Polypheme, so you are familiar with everything that has to do with Polypheme.
Okay.
Or at least well-versed in it. If you were to end up there, you would know the parts of various cities to go to not go to. You would know about its climate, its politics, etc. At least a basic sketch of it.
Okay.
The warrior class skill stuff is not stuff you start with. It's when you level up those are the things that you can level up at lesser cost than non-class skills.
Okay.
So something like so you've taken leadership, for example, as a background skill, and if you were to level up to level, say, 2, your leadership skill can be leveled to with only 2 additional skill points. If that
Okay,
makes sense.
so when we level up, though.
When you level up, right?
If and when, if I don't die or something.
Right. So the warrior class skills don't count on that stuff now. That's stuff, though, that you get for cheaper than stuff like tech medical or tech pre-tech. Those are skills that are expert class skills rather than... That doesn't mean you can't level them, but it's more expensive for you.
Okay.
Costs more. So as a mercenary, which is basically your training, how you came of age and learned your craft, you've taken business, which I've added. By the way, and you can go to the Google Drive and see me updating the DP. No,
The character sheet thingy.
Yeah, the character sheet. It's labeled Maddie Kingston. It's the third one.
Ah. Okay.
Business. Combat any. What type of combat are you skilled in?
I took, oh shit. Travis, help.
You have
gunnery
projectile and gunnery.
Projectile
there we
and
go.
gunnery, okay. Great. Culture any, so you get another culture. You could add that into leveling up your culture Polypheme. Maybe you did a lot of your mercenary training in Polypheme, or is there somewhere else that you were based out of that you did your mercenary training?
Would any place make sense in your world, since I don't know your world very well?
So we're going to be
Like
starting
nearby somewhere.
If you looked at the sector map, we're going to be starting in about the center of the map. The cluster of stars that are 203, 303, 403, 404, 503.
Okay.
But that doesn't really matter. You could only be recently come to the area. It doesn't affect...
Yeah, I think I would
it's
have trained on a local area. So, would any of those make sense? Seeing as I don't know all that much.
For your skills, you might have trained. You might know something about, and this would actually help. About if you click on Melantho in 504, the planet Dada.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
It's a very small population native to the planet, but it is an enormous spaceport. A trading port is based around that planet. Not a lot of people live there, but millions of or hundreds of thousands of people live in the port that's in orbit around the planet. So that would be a place that a mercenary would find a lot of work.
I like it. Sounds good.
So, quick question for you, Jimmy. I actually can't. Are you pulling up Elysian Theta from that Google Drive?
Yes, you can't. You cannot download it first.
Okay, download it first,
and then open it, and then click it into your browser. Drag it into your browser. It's easiest.
Okay, is this different than the one you had before? It looks like version 3. Yeah,
it is.
So.
I've continually added bits of information if you want to reference it.
Okay.
I won't explain where it is. It's details about planets, about groups that you might encounter, etc. So I wanted you to have access to that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So that's culture any. You get perception. That's good. And you get tactics. I like it. Okay. You get 1,000. You get woven body armor. A good choice. Yes. So what's nice about this character sheet for as detailed is it's got all the built-in stats for all the armors in the list. So I can just pull up a weapon that you got,
nice.
which is kind of nice. You have a sniper rifle.
Yeah, dog.
Six.
I am a mercenary, so it makes sense.
A semi-automatic pistol.
Mm-hmm.
And a compad, a very smart purchase that no one else has thought to purchase.
Thank you, Travis. Travis,
I'm still thinking of it because I have 100 space gold left or whatever.
I call them bitcoins.
Okay, hold on. Can we say it's Dogecoins?
Dogecoin, yeah.
Dogecoins?
Yes. Dogecoin? Yes.
That's our. That's
We're all just gonna say it differently, though.
That's the futuristic.
875. So you have about 25 credits left, which is fine. Your max
HP. Use it for ammo, depending on how you do that.
Yeah. So I don't think it'll come up immediately.
Good.
You start with the max hit points 8. You don't get a bonus from.
No, all my stuff is actually the one would be plus something since it's 14 plus 1.
Yeah, that'll come into play, especially for any shooting. Your Dex mod gets added into fine guns. So people had asked this earlier. System strain. System strain is a measure. It's basically equivalent to your base Constitution score. So your system strain level is 9, which means usually it only comes into play with psychics if you get affected by psychic skills or if you're a psychic yourself. The body can only take so much, say, like psychically induced healing. So there's a limit, and if psychics exceed their limit, or if anybody exceeds their limit, they begin to take permanent attribute damage.
Oh,
do not want.
Yeah.
There are times that it might be worthwhile, especially for a psychic. They can continue to use their psychic powers, but they run increasing risk of either killing themselves or going insane. So.
Oh, that's awful.
Great.
I know how I'm burned already.
Background is a priest.
Josh was like, I'm going to kill myself like right away. It's fine. Don't worry, guys.
Okay,
I
great.
always did that in Dark Heresy.
Josh, you enjoy character creation far too much.
He's like, okay, I'm ready to die now.
Always deadly.
So we're going to pause there. Josh, let's do you real quick. You load up what you gave me, but tell me about your character.
So I'm still trying to figure out a lot of the details of it. But,
that's okay. So your background, have you chosen you've rolled for stats, so you've got 11 strength. And I'm entering this on Google Drive as we speak. 7 int. That's okay. Oh, I don't know if Travis explained this, Allison and Josh. There are 2 stats that are useful. Often they're interchangeable for your character. The warrior is strength and dexterity. For the psychic, which Josh is playing, it's going to be wisdom and constitution. And actually, whenever you get to cast a psychic ability, or whenever you get to calculate your psychic points that you get to spend, basically your number of spells you can cast, you can choose to use your wisdom or your constitution score. So it gives you the flexibility of choice there. So you put a 14 in wisdom, Dex is 10, Con is 14 as well. Very nice, and Charisma is 8.
The natural 14 was the con, so
which means you start with 7 HP.
No, it's
5.
a D4 for him, so 5.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm sorry. I put this into a delete that. I put this into a.
Oh, an expert?
I put it in an expert by accident. Let me just one.
Yeah, psychics don't get hit points.
Yeah.
Oh, he does pretty well with that +1.
Oh yeah, that'll help.
Yeah.
Especially, and one thing I don't know if you've gone over, Jimmy, when you level up, you don't gain necessarily hit points. What you do is you roll the amount that's on your character sheet, and you take it if it's better. So, for example, when you hit level 2, since I'm an expert, I'd roll 2d6. And if I get lower than a 6, which is what I have now as my total hit points, then I just keep my current. If I get higher than that, then I take that. So you don't necessarily gain hit points every level. You might not necessarily gain hit points for a few levels, depending on how you roll.
You're gonna be a noob.
It's a deadly system.
Yeah, and I'll actually speak about that when we do our intro in just 2 minutes. So, Josh, have you opened that sector map?
No, that's not it.
Yep.
Okay, so take a look around, especially in those center systems, but anywhere. Where would you like to be from? Just pick some place random. I'll tell you a bit about it. I might suggest something else once I hear where you're leaning, or maybe tell me about your character a little bit.
Yeah, so I haven't figured out the finer details, but I'm expecting my character to be, because of what I've chosen to be, like a infiltration specialist, like sort of psychic assassin of sorts, or missions like spy stuff. And then obviously my character's hated something, they wanted me to do something too far. I morally objected, so now I'm on my own.
So a little bit of a rogue psychic.
Yeah, like
so
an ex-military, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so rogue. So I'm seeing military psychic and transport specialist. Did you choose from what background package did you choose? Did you look at the existing list?
Yeah. I looked at the existing list and I thought like those two would make it like being infiltrator of sorts. Because you can use transport to get to places.
I think you retitled it. What was the original name on the sheet, just so I can enter it on here?
Military. That's what they were. It was military psychic and transporting specialist.
Scrolling. So go to page 13 on the PDF. In background packages, I got Adventurer, Armsman, Astrogator's Mate, Bandit, Biotech Crew, Comm Crew, Con Artist, Deck Crew, Engine Crew, Gunnery Crew, Hermit, Noble, Peasant, Politician.
It's on page 14.
14?
Yeah, I'm the technician.
Technician, got it. Yeah, I just need the other name for it, that's all.
No, it's under technician.
Yeah, no, I know it is, but it's labeled only by its title in the sheet that I'm using, so I just needed the original the title name rather than, and then the transport specialist under psychic. Let me look that up real quick.
Oh no. So I got it. So I reversed it by accident. So the first one is transport specialist. The second one is military psychic. It's the one.
Got it.
So
we're good now.
I see that.
Yeah, there's okay. So for technician, you get combat gunnery. You get Culture World. So Culture World in the background patches. So in this case, for your technicians.
I don't know if he was a technician.
No,
he was transport specialist.
Oh, is it different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Still going with that, but still combat gunnery, Culture World. So So you're kind of a rogue. So psychics occur by kind of a default percentage of the population throughout the human universe.
You ain't no special snowflake.
Psionic powers come through a disease called MES, or MES, and it's a backlash, or it's a symptom of having undertaken the spike travel, which is the interstellar form of travel that exists in this day. So it's basically 1 in 60, something like that, of the populace gets this. So it could be from anywhere that you'd have this predilection for psychic powers. And the question is, coming out as a transport specialist, where so a transport specialist is somebody who's attuned to being in space vessels. So it's definitely a planet that isn't isolated. It's someplace that's connected well. So I would look at the two clusters of stars, one in the middle in the row 03 or 04 areas, like Halfried, Kanash, Osabid, or Melantho. Or you could look down at the bottom in 307, 407, 308, 408, that cluster. Those are two areas that are going to be the most heavily trafficked. Or the other good example is the world in 305, Demosthenes, or the star. That's actually a pretty special place. Its planet Melatoglu is not a very populous place, but it's incredibly important for the whole sector. It is both the base of operations of the Exchange Consulate, which is the interstellar bank system that exists, that makes currency fairly common across the sector, as well as ensures that when you're paid in one place, that your bank account's accessible in another. It is also the site of one of the only major spaceship dry docks, essentially, in all of the sector.
Sounds like a good place.
So yeah, it would be some place that you'd come out. You would definitely have connections to both military culture as well as resources to help train you in your psychic abilities, because psychics or psionically gifted people who don't receive training are basically they're lost causes. They're going to go insane or kill themselves at some point because they haven't built up the psychic mental blocks to be able to survive. So we're going to say your planet's Melatoglu. I mean,
sounds good.
Sounds like a disease a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Melatoglu? Okay.
Yeah.
That was what, 305?
Yeah, the planet or star Demosthenes in 305.
Star Demacia.
Okay. Navigation and vehicle space. Those are going to be useful.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here.
No.
You have a name picked out.
Yes. I will type it so to avoid screwing up pronunciation. Hold on a second.
You're gonna screw up the pronunciation of your own character's name?
No, but
I think saying it, then we can hear the pronunciation.
Leon.
Leon
Leister.
Leister.
Leon Leister.
Lysol. Leon Lysol.
Leon Leister. Leister.
Ly.
Leicester or Leicester?
Leicester.
Leicester.
That's why.
It's in roll 20.
I put it in roll 20, like the pronunciation.
I haven't even gotten it yet.
Yeah, I was just looking.
Go.
It's okay, Jimmy. This comes with time.
You will learn.
How do I play game?
Oh, you will fall.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at your stats. So other than that, I don't think you have to make any choices on stats. Your combat gunnery and combat projectile skills are useful to you now, but again, for psychics, those aren't class skills. They're gonna be more expensive to level up over time. Just so you're aware.
I don't know. It's just there's no way to actually afford the sci-tech stuff. So.
Yeah, no, I know. It's kind of designed intentionally that way. The system is. I didn't design it. Combat sci-tech, projectile, and gunnery. I got stealth. I don't have yet. Stealth and also tactics. Guys, you guys are a tactically ready team.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm an ex, literally an ex-spy, basically. So.
Yeah, I will update the rest of your equipment in a bit. Why don't we get started?
Oh shoot.
Oh boy.
Why does my webcam look
Oh,
so
yeah. Okay.
I think there's
Kevin
one
turned
other
into a
thing, actually,
JPEG.
Jimmy. 'Cause I gotta do disciplines.
Yes. Oh shit. So yes.
Yeah, he needs some psychic
Oh
powers.
my god.
You have
Hold on, guys,
plus
hold
1
on.
wisdom as well as constitution.
Hold on.
Hold up, guys. We are getting very robotic.
Yeah.
We are.
I just got my stream just shut down.
Skype, no, Skype.
No, blame Comcast. Don't blame Skype.
Fuck Comcast.
Fuck Time Warner. Who started the call?
I did.
Do you usually host the calls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he also recently moved. Probably got shittier internet. Remember that?
It's not like it's not going to be a problem with hosting. I can see all you guys clearly. My own webcam on my computer is crap because Comcast is installing me right now.
Do you want one of us to host the call?
We can try that if you want to try that.
Sure. If you want to hang it up, I can host it.
All right, call back.
Hey guys, we're back, Kevin.
Yep.
Okay. So yes, you're gonna pick out. You're gonna get to start 1 psi point per level, or rather, there's a chart on page 26 of the rule book. You start out with 1 plus whatever an appropriate mod score is for Wisdom or Constitution. Now, your Wisdom and Constitution are both plus 1, so you're going to get 2 psi points. That's going to let you cast in a given 24-hour period 2 psychic abilities. You get to pick a primary discipline and a secondary discipline. The primary disciplines, again, like skills, is a little bit easier to level up. We'll deal with adding psychic abilities if and when that time comes. So go ahead. Do you have a primary discipline in mind? We've got, for the viewers, we've got biopsionics, which is basically it's healing and biological maintainment or enhancement skills. There's metapsionics, which is countering other psychics. There's precognition, which is what it sounds like. There's telekinesis, which is, again, what it sounds like. And then there's telepathy. Precognition is dealing with the future. Telepathy is dealing with interfacing with the emotions and thoughts of others. Mm-hmm. So what are you thinking, Josh?
So my primary one is going to be telekinesis.
Telekinesis, I like it.
That way I can break into places.
Kinesis. So you that means you start off with automatically remote manipulation, and so you're aware level learn. You cannot learn a new psionic skill that's above your own level. Mm-hmm. You also have the ability over time to master if you spend permanently your psionic points. So, for example, you start with 2 PP, 2 psionic points. If you spent those immediately, you would have 0 psionic points, but you could cast remote manipulation at no cost at any time. So there's both learning a skill and eventually mastering a skill. Mastering a skill lets you basically commit mental reserves that you have in your abilities. That won't matter for now, but I'm just letting you be aware that there are things you can learn and things you can master over time, and it's 2 different processes.
So does he start then? He starts then with 1 mastered?
No, he does not.
Okay.
I was just explaining.
It takes 2 weeks to master one.
Well, it both takes 2 weeks and a commitment of points that you really shouldn't be committing at this point. It's something to think about when you reach maybe level 3. I'm just kind of trying to give you the direction that it goes in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't the commitment anyway like equal to the thing? So it's 1 point for level 1.
Yeah. So exactly the commitment to learn a new one is 1-to-1, but to master something, it doesn't matter. The point being is that beyond learning things, you can also master them in a way that it is easier to cast them multiple times. It costs you less. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you start with remote manipulation. Why don't you read for everybody else what that means?
Okay, just give me a second. I gotta go back to the page.
Page 30.
Here we go. Yep. So the psychic can manipulate any object visible to the unaided vision as if it was handed it with one hand. The force has an effective strength of 10 and can be used to wield an object to attack at a -2 to hit, and using relevant combat skills of the psychic. So effectively, I could pick up a crate and throw it at someone if I wanted to, assuming I could pick it up in one hand.
It's like Mage Hand.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And with a combat projectile, I would give you your what essentially equates to a non-negative bonus. Your skill for combat projectile would help with that skill.
So it's like I could pick up like a metal thing and just throw it at someone's head.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Cool. So you get a secondary discipline too. What's in mind? What do you have in mind?
So I'm thinking, I was thinking biosonics because I think that's the healing tree. If I understand it right.
That is the healing tree. Yeah. That's definitely useful for the party. I think that's a good choice. And remember, if and when you reach level 2, your primary discipline will go up, but you can choose another discipline. You don't have to keep leveling biosonics.
Yep. That's why I'm probably
definitely
gonna branch
makes sense
into Orb.
for the party. I think it's a good choice. So biostasis is your first skill, which is essentially somebody who's extremely injured or near death, say within a couple rounds of bleeding out. You can place them essentially in a mental stasis, a psychically induced coma that would stabilize them and allow them time to heal once you had the appropriate medical attention. So that's great. I think that's awesome. Okay. We're all good, right? Characters created.
Can I kill things down?
Should be.
We got 2 women, 2 men. We've got
try.
Selfie Milton,
who's
Leon
a chick?
Leicester, and
Travis.
Maddie Kingston and Marjorie Rainier.
Travis, you're a chick?
I am. Jimmy, you didn't get my message where I said don't reveal that.
No, I didn't. Remember when I said that I wasn't getting messages for about an hour?
No, it was on Roll20, which I think you logged into afterwards, so it's probably buried up on top somewhere.
He's a dude. He's totally a dude.
No, that's all right.
Fucked up. Okay. Welcome, guys. I'm going to do a quick background on the system for the viewers, if we have any. I'm not even in Twitch right now.
We have 2 or 3.
Welcome, guys. Real quick, a little history. So we are in space, and this is humankind out in a distant star sector, very, very far from Earth. Around the year, what it was?
3200?
I'm actually starting before then. So Earth developed technology called a spike drive that really set off the vast expansion and colonization of the world. And the spike drive is this thing that allowed spaceships to leave the current universe and enter at least partially into another universe where the laws of energy allowed ships to travel effectively faster than light, which was the first step to permitting interstellar travel. But with this development and the rapid expansion came the development of MES, which was what I mentioned to Josh, which was essentially a condition or a disease to humankind that gave people psionic powers, but also gave them a very limited lease on life. They were likely to go insane or die without proper training. Now, once those abilities were harnessed, humankind underwent a large second migration. And this was the era of what's called pre-tech. So we're going to see references in this game to pre-tech and post-tech. Pre-tech is all references to technology that is largely psionically based, that is prior to the big collapse of humankind, which we'll get to in a minute. But pre-tech in particular was aided by extremely skilled and accomplished psychics who in particular developed and ran these jump gates. And the jump gates are what allowed Earth to expand out very, very far. And what happens when people expand far is the core worlds... set names on bot character, please.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
No, it's cool. You guys are good. I don't know how you deal with us chatting when you're...
Oh, it's fucking terrible.
I get it. But so there's all these worlds, and the developed worlds like Earth, some of the inner systems of the sector, they specialize. They don't bother to start producing their own food. They concentrate on technology and politics and religion and development. And the frontier worlds instead are left with supplying the necessities of life on the inner world.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of those inner worlds didn't have necessarily everything they needed, right?
They had
Since
very
they
little,
were getting it supplied.
They also stagnated technologically. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna like actually quote from a little bit. This is from the DM's portion of the guide. Some of you guys may have read this. It's not hidden, but the colonies realized starting around 2450 that there was no need to really rebel against the Terran Mandate, which is the vast universal government of humankind. Most often it was a disobedience of slow decay, with tax shipments becoming intermittent and absent, and mandate orders obeyed first slowly and then not at all. The Mandate fleet struck a few of the most valuable recalcitrants, but it was a rearguard action. The Terran Mandate had grown itself beyond its ability to maintain control. In the wild void of the frontier, spike drive armadas and petty stellar kingdoms formed to settle ancient arguments between ideologies, religions, and simple differences of ambition. Maltech researchers began to take root on more isolated worlds with forbidden research into unbreaked AIs, replicant nanotech, and weapons of planetary destruction. Some worlds began to experiment with human genomic modification beyond anything that convention had permitted. These eugenics cultists sought the wholesale improvement of the human genetic legacy despite the terrible costs in maladaptive mutation and instability. Forces of the Terran Mandate's perimeter agency tried to contain these researches, but often were simply too few and too poorly supported. The golden age of man was already strained by the pressures of these squabbling worlds, and the Terran Mandate, had grown senile. In 2665, a massive wave of metadimensional energy washed over human space. Spike drive craft in metaspace were annihilated instantly. In the blink of an eye, every psychic in human space immediately suffered the consequences of catastrophic burnout. The majority died instantly, and the rest that remained were raving in the grip of an incurable madness. Later reconstruction placed the origin of this scream somewhere in the Veil Nebula, but no records exist of a successful investigation. Too much collapsed too quickly for any sort of exploratory expedition to be sent. Humanity was suddenly stripped of every psychic resource. Without living mentors, new generations of psychics could not be trained without recreating the entire laborious research corpus of the now erased psychic authority. It would take generations to mold functional mentors out of the untrained mass of native psychics. The jump gates were dead, and the core worlds of human space collapsed with them. Countless colonies that relied on the bulk produce of agricultural worlds were left starving within months, their shipyards overrun by the desperate and ruined in the convulsive fighting over the few remaining spike drive ships. Fast forward about 500 years, 540 years, and we're today. This is Sector Elysian Theta. They are still called this by convention of old Terran Mandate designations of space, but there's nothing about this sector that says these stars and their attendant worlds should be together. And that's borne out by this sector, which is a particularly has had a tough time since the Scream, which has been about 500 years. Mm-hmm. In the years afterwards, many worlds that had native resources as well as some basic infrastructure fared better than a lot of the worlds that were actually economically more prosperous. It turned out that what was the key to success without contact with the central worlds was being able to be self-sufficient and be able to reinstitute spike drive programs to be able to engage in interstellar travel again. Now, remember, most of the human worlds were using these jump gates that relied on psychics, and so when the psychics were all wiped out, the jump gates couldn't work anymore. And only really the most backwater places still had the spike drives, the little drives that allowed you to jump from star to star in short distances, but not the far distances of the jump gates.
Yep. And it may also be worth noting, I don't know if you were going to go over this or not, a lot of the worlds after the Scream didn't get their technology back, fell to barbarism. They're planets that went back to the Stone Age, the Renaissance Age. It really is a very cool system and setting for those of you watching who might be interested in checking it out.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So when you guys, in your exploration of the sector, because you guys don't know everything about it, you know what you can read on the sector map I gave you, but you don't know everything. And you know that there are worlds that have been isolated since the Scream. You know that there are places that were sent back to the Stone Ages or wiped out entirely. The sector is a story in struggle and in competition in a way that hasn't existed since humanity was located on one planet. So, so let me give you guys a little starting point.
Yeah, where are we now? What is happening around us?
So the four of you are currently on a ship.
Oh,
okay.
already on a ship.
You are on a ship. You are on a
All
ship
right.
called the RSS Saint Sebastian, which if you go to the Google Drive under ship schematics, you can see the schematic details of the ship such that you know them.
So Jimmy, I'm going to be that guy right away. What does RSS stand for?
I'm getting to that.
Excellent.
The RSS stands for Riemann Spaceship. It is a what is called a half freighter, which is one of the largest still operational freighters in the area. They only really exist because there are a number of high-functioning orbital trade ports in this region. The larger ships, what are called slow boat freighters, are Scream-era technology. They were what was used to transport massive amounts of goods through the jump gates. But after the jump gates failed, they were too big to be able to support their own spike drives. This is now the largest ship that is able to transport tradable goods in the sector and still contains spike drive technology. It's called, you can see on there, the Pakulos class freighter. It was developed by people of Greek descent. Pakulos is a bastardization of the word for chubby or fat. It's because it's a fat, lumbering ship. It is not sleek or sexy in any respect. It is.
It's a transport. It's fine.
It's a freighter, and it's not only that. It's a freighter that people cut every corner they could to provide as much cargo space as possible. Someone asked about why there are two sand throwers on it. It's because sand throwers are in general just defensive weapons. It's because that's really the only way to ensure that it can have enough survivability, is both having a navigational computer to give it an advantage on some navigability and speed, and sand throwers to fend off attack until escort ships or other friendly vessels can come to its aid. Basically.
So it's not a fighter; it's just a transport. So
it's mostly a cargo transport. They generally are not what's used to transport masses of people. It's mostly masses of cargo.
So, question for you, Jimmy. You mentioned that this is one of the biggest ships in the area with a spike drive. The rules for the game have ships of all kinds of classes. Is this area generally limited to smaller ships because of...
I should have clarified. It's the biggest, primarily freight-driven ship that still has a spike drive. Now, you may come across in your adventures cruisers. You may even see a capital ship if you're lucky or unlucky.
Or really unlucky, yeah.
Those tend to be enormous, basically floating space stations, and very technologically advanced beyond TL4, which is post-tech, which is in general the most advanced that human technology has gotten. If I refer to TL4, that is what you can expect to be the equivalent of us now in 21st century technology, but it's several millennia in the future. TL4 is what's called post-tech. People who have TL4 systems have redeveloped spike drives. They have advanced mining or pharmaceutical industries. They have energy weapons capabilities. They may be experimenting with very limited AI or some other, exotic technologies. But in general, that's TL4. TL4 Plus, or TL5, is the beginnings of recreation of pre-scream technology or pre-tech. That's where machinery or even entire industrial processes are psychically aided or assisted in some way. Nanotech, stuff like biological armor that is connected to your neurosystem that can respond to your senses and give you more or less defense depending on what the situation presents. Stuff like that. Yeah. That technology still exists in the sector. You have to find it. It's rare and incredibly valuable, but it's out there.
Okay.
Anyway, you guys are aboard the RSS Saint Sebastian. Okay. You wake up. You've been asleep for the past 6 days. These freighters tend to have some sort of sleep-inducing. It's usually not legal, but they'll have an aid so that people can pass the time between spike jumps, which take between star to star at least 6 days, unless you're in an extreme hurry. But with extreme hurry comes danger. So, if you're not in a hurry, then it takes 6 days to get from star to star. But you guys wake up. You only briefly met before boarding the ship. You were hired independently of each other on behalf of a very important person. You don't know the name. You just know that they have money. You know this important person's from Manisha. And you were hired in the capital city of Antioch on the planet Rima, which is in Kanash, if you want to click on that. You were hired there as a team of couriers. Your special skills were selected, apparently, by this person to courier a package from Rima to the system of Manisha, and with an intermittent stop at the great trade port of Dada. Dada is in Melantho. Kanash 404 is where you started in Rima. You're en route between 404 and 504. Okay.
Someone has money.
This is seemingly an important courier job. You were all individually smuggled onto the ship, and Rima, which is known for its rather intense bureaucratic processes, you were never cleared through official customs channels. You were advised to remain in the cargo hold and to keep low until after the spike jump. You've been on the ship about 7 days thus far, about a day to get away from Rima,
Just
and a
in the
6-day
cargo
spike
hold?
jump in the cargo hold,
Okay.
with adequate supplies.
So, I'm sorry, where were we heading to? We were hired in Rima to go to
You were hired in Rima to go to
Manisha?
Osabid in Manisha the planet, but Osabid's the system. But you're being smuggled, basically.
Yeah.
And the smuggler ship, as part of his price, wanted to make a stop in the trade port where there's a known
Dada.
black market first. You have 2 contacts.
Okay.
In the trade port where you're headed, in Dada, you're supposed to contact a woman named Deanne Polymer. She will see you safely overnight while the ship is docked, and it's been insinuated that she can clear bureaucratic hurdles that you may come up against.
And what was that name again?
Deanne, Deane,
Polymer.
Polymer, Polymer.
Oh shit!
Okay.
I spelled that right. It's a miracle.
Okay.
And you've been told on Venetia that you'll be met, but that the woman you're supposed to meet is named Elena Ray. Elenaray.
Lane or Ray? Oh,
All right.
I know an
Okay.
Ikora Ray.
You all, I'll leave it to you guys about whether you know each other or not. And maybe through your role playing, you can kind of insinuate that. But you didn't know, each of you didn't know that the other was on this job until during the spike jump, or like after you woke from the medically induced sleep that you just came out of.
Yeah.
You
So
went
did
to sleep for 6 days, but you were kind of out of it. It's something that happens in less lawfully patrolled
Yeah.
space. It's a way to pass the time. No one wants to sit around in a cargo hold or in a crappy transport for.
Okay, real quick. This makes me think of that movie. I think it was a Disney movie where this guy was sent into space or something, and he didn't fall asleep in his pod, and then he was wandering around the spaceship.
The movie.
I'm sorry. I just thought of that, and it made me laugh. I can't remember what the movie was, but anyways, going on.
Rocket Man.
I don't know. Rocket Man. Thank you.
Yes.
I know nothing about Travis or Kevin's characters, and only a little bit about Josh's character, so I don't know how we know each other because I actually don't. Like, Allison doesn't know anything about them.
Yeah, so maybe we just learned, hey, you assholes are working together, get in the cryo tube. Like, we're smuggling you, get in the cryo. Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong, but it may have been kind of a hurried process to get us out of there unseen.
Yeah, and I think I have a feeling, Travis, that your character was the initial take on this project.
Okay.
You have a feeling that the thing you're currying is something within your interest area, and that's why they contacted you first, because you have experience dealing with the particularly intrusive government of Rima, and the fact that they trust you is telling. So maybe you should meet the other characters and fill them in a little bit.
Okay, so why do we wake up?
Because it's time to wake up.
Yeah, is it the timer going off? Is the ship rocking?
The drug that this captain has lovingly provided you, it has started to wear off, and this ship is a bucket of bolts. I don't know if you saw on the thing. The ship is like 150 years old. It's seen a lot of hardware.
So it's pretty extreme.
It was the first of this type of ship that was developed. It was part of the first fleet. Most of the others have been decommissioned. How this thing is still kicking is how it made it through the rigors of spike travel. Points to the fact that the captain is probably experienced, but also that this ship just has some native luck. So you were probably awoken by the rough exit from the spike jump, I would guess, or at least stirred from your sleep.
Okay, so if I look out, the cargo bay may only have 1 or 2 viewports, but if I look outside, have we exited spike space and we're back in real space?
You see, you happen to see through your window the glowing, what's a particularly blue small star in the distance that you know is likely Melantho.
Okay.
You figure that if you're out of spike space as you believe you are, that probably in the next 24 to 48 hours that you'll be in this in Dota system and docking.
Okay, so awesome. So I look and say, well, I guess we're out of spike space. So
Doesn't sound very feminine.
where are all of you from?
He sounds like
I use
the
blink twice.
lady
I'm
from
like,
Fargo.
You just got my inspiration for the name and character. There you go.
Oh, you don't have a name until now?
We don't
No.
know.
It's in there.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
same name.
The the inspiration for the name.
Oh, the
character.
inspiration for it. Oh, I don't even know your name. Which one are you? Marjorie. I don't know. I'm not getting it, but that's okay. I look over at the person talking to me that I'm going to say I don't know, and I mentioned that I come from. Oh gosh, where did I put my character sheet? Where I wrote where I came from. No.
Maddie, you're from far to the southern system.
Yes, yes.
Polytheme.
All right, I just found it. Yeah, Polytheme.
Well, southern
so I
system-
mentioned that I'm from there.
In
The
Asmat.
system is Asmat, but I trained on Data or Dota, whichever one you prefer. Jimmy, you called it Dota, so
I called it Dota.
you said
Trying
I
not-
think you said
trying
Dota
not
recently.
to call it Dota.
Pretty
Oh.
sure you said Dota.
Okay,
So
so,
that's a familiar system to you.
okay. Yeah, so back in character then. You say that?
Yes.
Oh, so you're from there, huh? What do you think we can expect? What did you say your name was? By the way, I'm Marjorie. You can call me Marge or Margie. Either way, doesn't matter to me.
I actually laugh at her accent just because it's just very comical sounding, and I say that I came from Polytheme. However, I just trained on Data.
Yeah, I caught that. So you don't have a name?
Oh, my name is Maddie.
Oh, nice to meet you, Maddie.
Nice to meet you too. I put my hand out to shake her hand.
Yeah, I give you a firm handshake. So I look around. So you two are pretty quiet. Where are you all from?
So,
This
I just
place.
flat out yawn and like, I'm from many places. If you have to call me something, call me Leon.
Okay there, Mr. Mysterious. All right. What about you there with the mustache?
Ah.
Yeah, I'm doing this voice the whole time.
Yeah. I was
I
trying
was
to figure
debating
out,
not
I was
doing
trying
it.
to figure out a voice.
What,
I
it
don't
sounds
have
like
one
your
yet,
regular
so,
voice, Travis.
Yeah, right.
Ship.
Wisconsin. This is. Oh, don't you know?
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Don't you know?
Oh dear!
There's more to life than money,
What?
don't you know?
It just
Um,
became Irish, which is not inappropriate. But anyway, back in game.
What is my name? Oh, right. My name's Selfie. I'm.
Take a lot of pictures of yourself in the mirror, then?
I was just gonna
What
make
do
a
you mean?
joke about that.
You know, like a selfie.
What is that? It's my name.
Okay then. So, where did you say you were from?
Grew up in space. Didn't really stick
Oh.
around that much.
Okay, a spacer. That'll help probably. So, why were you all called onto this mission? I'm
That's
kind of
something
curious what the
detecting.
connection is here.
I simply heard
s-
something detecting.
I don't know.
I pull out a gun and like check my ammo.
I heard there was money in it. Sign me up.
I heard there was money too, and I'm pretty good with some gunnery here. So I don't actually know what you refer to it in character. Do you just call it gunnery?
Yes, gunnery.
Okay,
Gunnery is
alright.
basically like is
Any of the
anything
ship
that's
stuff.
ship weapons. So
Okay.
you're some or vehicle weapons in
Yep.
general. So by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, Travis.
Yes.
Since you were the initial contact and told that you would be meeting a party, you were given where did I write this number down? You were given a
Passcode, phone number.
no. You were given a number that the take for this delivery is.
Well, was only I given this information?
You were said split how you see fit, but here is your
PM
help.
it to me then.
Okay, got it.
They didn't make a rule about this, guys. They didn't make a rule
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
this.
but he's getting payback. Sweet payback.
What he doesn't know is that I can just beat him with a mysterious force that he does not know.
It's okay, you've got like 2 hit
He
points.
still won't split the money with you. He'll give you less money.
Oh,
Hey, listen!
Um,
We all heard that, guys. Whoever did that. Are you drinking a Surge?
Okay, so I assume that.
Hold on, I'm whispering something to someone else because you weren't the only
Back
one
to
told
the
about
90s.
everything. So hold on one second.
Okay.
This is what I'm about to start drinking. Oh wait.
I'll have to go grab a
So-
beer.
Oh,
I guess
There it is.
we'll make
There
it
it is.
Here.
small talk,
There it
so
is.
I'll just flat out ask, does anyone know what we're supposed to be protecting?
We're protecting something?
You guys all saw individually or together before you went to sleep the package. It's nearby you right now.
Yeah, but we've seen the package, but we don't know what the package is, right?
So it's
Yeah.
I can describe it if you want.
please
Sure.
do.
Yeah. What are we looking at?
Okay, sorry, I just finishing typing. So the thing you're carrying is about it's larger than a briefcase, bulkier as well. Think about a very large. Oh my God, what is going on? A very large either laptop computer or maybe if I tried to fit one of my like a computer monitor into a carrying case.
So it's like
Um,
an Alienware. It's really big and bulky.
Yeah, it's bulky. It's one person can carry it like a suitcase, but it's larger than your normal suitcase. It's locked.
It's like a sewing machine box, almost.
Yeah, except longer. So imagine something about yay long.
Like a violin case, instrument case.
But no, it's rectangular. Like literally, like take one of
Right.
your monitors, put it in a padded, large briefcase, and that's what it is. Except it's metal plated. It is locked with a panel. There's a little computer panel on it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I kind of have an idea of what's in there, but we're just being paid to bring it to where it gotta go. So
Yeah.
As usual.
Speaking of payments, who
Oh yeah, they talked to me about that. We're gonna be making about 6,000 cred on getting it there. That'll be split evenly, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I hope so.
Well, as long as we all survive it, I guess.
What
I
could
kind
go
of
wrong?
look. Who's the
Oh.
squishiest looking person of the group? I stare at you.
You see a frail man who looks a little haunted over there. His name's Leon.
Hey,
He's
I
got a
look at
kind of.
Leon.
I mean, describe your look.
Actually, his constitution's pretty high, so technically
yeah.
he's.
Yeah, it's not really. He doesn't look unhealthy. It more looks like his mind looks partially committed elsewhere. Why don't you describe your look a little bit, Leon?
Give me 2 seconds. Showing something to you.
Yeah, and why? So, before we do that, Jimmy, could we maybe do a quick break?
Yeah,
Go
sure. I
into-
didn't want to interrupt
Sure.
if there was conversation going on. But why don't
Yeah.
we break? We've gotten started, put you guys on a ship, and you just woke up and hate each other already. This is great.
I don't hate anyone.
I don't hate
I'm here for the money.
I know. I'm kidding.
Leon,
So yeah,
yourself.
let's take 5-7 minutes and
Okay.
jump back in it.
All right,
Oh,
cool.
we're taking a break. Okay.
Quickly. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Have
We'll be back.
zero attention.
I just
Come on,
heard.
guys.
I just heard her playing. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, we're playing. Okay, we'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah, and it might make sense to just. Oh, sorry. Are